So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist.
You want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you?
Keep it a buck.
I said the Roc Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow.
Oh my God, can you believe it? Camron is absolutely refusing to let Jay-Z breathe. He just teamed up with rapper Gillie Da Kid to spill some major tea about Jay's behind-the-scenes behavior, and honestly, I'm shook. When those cameras stop rolling, Jay-Z's true colors come out, and let me tell you, he is never escaping those control freak accusations. Gillie dropped some serious bombshells, exposing how Jay tried to lock him into what can only be described as a slave deal, like working the poor man to death while paying him absolute pennies. But wait, it gets worse. Jay allegedly tried to control every single rapper signed to Roc-A-Fella, and when they dared to stand up for themselves, he would threaten them, blackball them, and completely destroy their careers. Talk about power hungry. And don't even get me started on what Camron had to say about all this. You know Camron never holds back when it comes to exposing these self-proclaimed industry elites. So what shocking revelations did Camron drop about Jay's control tactics? And did Jay actually threaten Gillie's life? Let's dive into this piping hot tea. So, let's be real, it's not exactly breaking news that Jay-Z is one of those ruthless business moguls who will do anything to stay on top. Recently, more and more people have been coming forward with their horror stories about how Jay did them dirty. Whether he was forcing them into predatory record deals, cheating them out of their deserved money, blackballing them from the industry, or even making threats, nothing seems to be off limits for Jay-Z. The allegations are wild. In his recent interviews, Cam has been spilling all the tea about his time at Roc-A-Fella and the way he was treated when he worked closely with Jay-Z and his former partner Dame Dash. For some backstory, Camron got signed to Roc-A-Fella through Dame Dash, who was his childhood friend. Poor Cam was fresh out of an awful record deal with Tommy Mottola's Sony Epic Records. Before that disaster, he'd been signed to Lance Rivera's entertainment label, which was distributed by Epic Records. That deal wasn't great either because it completely fell apart when the label lost its funding. Camron had been through the ringer with these terrible record deals and labels, so when he came to Roc-A-Fella, he was ready to hit the ground running, and that's exactly what he did. In 2002, he released his third and most successful album, Come Home With Me, featuring incredible guest appearances from Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel, and Memphis Bleek. Superstar producers like Kanye West and Just Blaze also worked on the album. That same year, Cam even appeared in a movie Dame Dash produced called Paid in Full, starring alongside Mickey Pfeiffer and Wood Harris. Cam was climbing that corporate ladder, making huge moves and growing his career. By all accounts, Cam's collaboration with Roc-A-Fella was going amazingly well. But then everything changed when Jay started getting jealous of how Cam was becoming such an important figure at the label. Apparently, Jay didn't want anyone getting to the top who he didn't personally co-sign, and there was Cam doing it effortlessly because he worked hard and knew how to network with all the right people. Jay-Z was not happy about this, so he allegedly tried to block Camron's success. He started by telling Cam he couldn't bring certain people to the office even if they were there for work. Can you believe the pettiness? According to Cam, there came a point when he started to feel this intense negative energy from Jay-Z. He'd tell Jay he needed to work on something or that he needed Jay to sign off on some deal he was trying to make, and Jay would just give off this weird, uncomfortable vibe. The tension was... One time, Camron was working with rapper Petey Crack on a record, and just when the song was about to drop, Jay-Z swooped in and forced Petey to delete Cam's verse. Like, who does that? But don't worry, Cam made sure he got his revenge by removing Jay's verse from his song Oh Boy years later after he'd left Roc-A-Fella. Talk about giving him a taste of his own medicine. Never improved while he was at the label. It all came to a dramatic head in late 2002 when Dame tried to make Cam and Beanie Sigel the new president and vice president of Roc-A-Fella. When Cam heard the news, he was ecstatic because all his hard work was finally paying off, but here's the kicker. Cam had no idea that Dame hadn't consulted Jay-Z before making this huge decision. And to be fair, it's not like Camron had signed any official deal or anything. He was just excited about the possibility of moving up in the company, and since Dame was the one who gave him the information, he naturally assumed it was legitimate.
because of these 2 bad deals that I came out of. I know where the money should be going. I know how much should be allocated to marketing, how much should be allocated to promotion, how much should be allocated to the studio, etc. I understood the business. So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was like in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist. Let me make this announcement, even though it was a real announcement that Dame told me, we just couldn't figure it out contractually. But I didn't know he didn't consult with Jay-Z about it. But when you ask me, do I feel the blame? Maybe I did jump the gun and talk about it too soon, because no contracts was signed, no deal was done. But I'm looking at it as, okay, this is Cam coming out of a shitty situation, busting all these moves in a small time.
What nobody expected was how Jay completely lost it, as if he was personally insulted by the mere suggestion of Cam becoming president of his label. He shut down the idea so fast you'd think Camron was planning to kick him out of Roc-A-Fella or something. If Camron didn't know Jay-Z was trying to sabotage him before, he definitely knew now. But see, there have been countless instances where people have called Jay-Z out for blackballing them or stepping over them to get ahead. To this day, many people believe the reason why Dame and Jay's relationship fell apart was because of Jay's shady business dealings. Even Dame has talked about how Jay did him dirty in multiple interviews. Believe it or not, Dame was the one who championed Jay's music career when no one else would give him a chance. Eventually, they created Roc-A-Fella together, which was primarily Dame's brainchild. Within a few years, Dame and Jay had launched multiple other businesses, including Roc-A-Wear, which were all multi-million-dollar companies. In the beginning, Dame and Jay used to support each other in everything related to their businesses, but then it got to a point where Jay started leaving Dame out of some major business decisions. Jay-Z blamed it on Dame being a reckless spender and being too hot-headed, which supposedly made doing business difficult.
I
don't understand that. Jay's not on Def Jam. Jay's on Roc-A-Fella. Y'all not better than me. Y'all trying to make, I don't understand that. I want somebody to explain it to me. I ain't get no calls about nothing. And I'm not even trying to, y'all pull this shit. Y'all know what we going through when we're bigs and all that. Y'all gonna around like this?
Honestly, we did know about the big thing.
I know y'all know about it. Y'all went to the wait. I want to know. I seen all of y'all yesterday. Why nobody told me about a marketing plan about Jay-Z? This is not your artist. Y'all don't do nothing for Jay-Z without me. What the That's why y'all trying to make this like, oh, that's also, are y'all the ones promoting me and him got a beef too? Because we don't. How y'all got a meeting about Jay without me? How y'all make any decisions about Jay without me? Huh, John?
Hey man, how you gonna have a problem with me?
Because I'm asking you because you here on Jay's behalf. I bet you Jay don't know I wasn't invited. I bet you that. An email, now we discuss things through email.
And to be fair, there's some truth to that. Dame bought multiple mansions in different cities, flew private for years, and had entire closets dedicated just to his sneaker collection. Dame could also be pretty aggressive. He would talk down to business partners, go off on artists when they made even the smallest mistake, and sometimes let his temper completely take over.
Everybody wants a jacket. You want to do something, make a motherfucker on tour jacket. We don't want that shit. No, why do I need Beanie Man and Memphis Bleak wearing a Def Jam jacket? They on Roc-A-Fella. All of a sudden, niggas got jackets with their names on and on our tour. It makes it look like a Def Jam tour. Wait a second. All right, look, you're the president of the company, right? So that means you're smart. Am I right? So don't sit there and play dumb. Now, wait. If everybody on this tour has a Def Jam jacket on, what would be the general perception of this when people just walking around and don't know nothing? What would it look like? So then, knowing this, why wouldn't you be extra sensitive about giving everybody Def Jam jackets on this tour? Why? You're a president, now you know. So either you're real smart or you're real dumb. It's one or the other. And I'm not gonna say that you're real dumb. I'm gonna say you're real smart. So you know better. You all know better.
According to Camron, Dame ended up broke because his lifestyle was way too extravagant for the money he had. On top of that, he also had this strange sense of entitlement that didn't do him any favors.
But like with Dame, I would love to do the things Dame did. Fly private for 5 years straight. Buy 2 mansions in London. You got a mansion in London just for your niggas, and then a personal mansion in London for something else, or renting them or whatever. You just got mansions in London. We not even from London. We just going to fucking London, hanging out, not saying, I put on my artists, or really, more Jim and Jewels, but we was all Dipset, SAS. Just out in London spending money. I would love to have 2 lofts in Tribeca right around the corner for each other. 20,000 for this loft, 20,000 for that loft around the corner. So you got $40,000 a month for just lofts. Airfare, flying everywhere. Dame, I would have loved to have the biggest mansion in Alpine, New Jersey. Dame is the only that I ever seen to this day. I'm talking about to this day, and I've been in a lot of places, and like I said, maybe I haven't been in the right places. I've never seen a nigga with a urinal in their house yet. Dame is the only I see where you go to his house, and he got the stand-up in the men's room. He got a urinal in his house, in the movie room, a urinal. You go to Dame's house, he got a crib in Malibu. Yo, these walls are made out of museum walls, right? This is the same shit they use in the museum. This ain't regular house walls. They made museums out. This is museum walls and shit. Bro, if you live like that, you gotta keep hustling. You can't buy all that shit you bought. And I'm being nice, I'm not even naming half of it. You can't buy all that shit and spend all that money and then be like, I shouldn't have to work anymore. I ain't have half the shit I just named. I ain't have no 2 lofts in Soho. I ain't have no 2 mansions in London. I ain't fly private every day for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I ain't have no damn urinal. This all that you was spending your money on. I'm just good budgeting money, thank God.
However, none of this changes the fact that Jay probably wouldn't be where he is today without Dame. So when Jay started betraying Dame by going behind his back to sign deals and undermining his authority in the company, Dame was absolutely devastated. The worst part, according to Dame, was that Jay continued collaborating with R. Kelly despite knowing what he allegedly did to Aaliyah, who was the love of Dame's life. What really shocked Dame about the betrayal was how long it took him to realize that Jay would do anything and step over anyone to get ahead. The realization must have been heartbreaking.
What are those things, if you were giving me advice?
I wouldn't have been so generous with Jay. It was more friendship for me and money for him. I wouldn't have let certain things happen because I didn't think they could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would never do that, but he did things that I thought he would never do. So now I would be like, he would do that, and I would make sure it didn't happen.
If Jay-Z could do that to his own best friend and business partner, just imagine what he did to people he didn't even consider his equal. Rapper Gillie Da Kid has endless stories about how Jay treats people he feels are beneath him. The disrespect is real.
So back in the day, Hov tried to sign my group Major Figures. It wasn't just Hov, it was Dame Dash, it was Roc-A-Fella.
Okay.
I didn't feel as though that the contract was right, so I didn't accept it.
But that's not all. According to Gillie, Jay was furious when he refused to sign a contract with Roc-A-Fella, so he basically made it his personal mission to sabotage Gillie at every opportunity. Gillie even claimed that Jay's famous Roc Nation brunch is just an elaborate scheme for him to select the next artist he'll sacrifice to get ahead in the industry. In fact, Gillie pointed out that the only time you ever see Jay smile in photographs is when he's surrounded by fellow billionaires. How telling is that?
You want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you?
Keep it a book.
I said the Roc Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow.
Interestingly, almost everyone who has commented on the beef between Jay and Cam seems to believe that Jay is the one in the wrong. One person said, now that I'm older, I see why Jay had a problem with Cam. Cam wasn't waiting on anybody to make moves. He made them happen himself. I also remember he was going to sign with Big. But what do you think? Is Jay-Z still pulling these kinds of moves with his newer artists at Roc Nation? Or do you think these are all just rumors spread by people who are jealous of Jay's incredible success? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and then check out this next video.